Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a great night. I'm doing a flip through. Oh look, there's that glare again. I'm doing a flip through on my Garden for All Seasons daily junk journal slash Fauxbonochi. I've done a couple already, and I also have a video of how I made it if you're interested. Put the links down below. I love that. If you're new here, I do this every time I get a chance to say something's down below because it cracks me up. Okay, so last time we were looking at the end of January, and I think this is where we left off. This was the back of the Edith Holden page, and I left that one open because it has these pretty, the beautiful handwriting and the nice definitions of January and some mottos and things. And since January was coming to a close, I went ahead and left that. This is the beginning of the actual book guts themselves, and I ended up gluing in a piece of coffee-dyed notebook paper to finish up the month so I could keep it all together. Monday was the 29th, and I just did some journaling, used some washi tape. We watched this movie, Geostorm, which was really good. Did some Zentangling to break up the page, and Tuesday the 30th just did some journaling about that and tipped in this little card about the 31st. So that wrapped up January nicely. And then this is the guts of the book that I use as art journaling pages. And as I said, it's the writing and painting on it is not working as well as I thought. So this is just some doodling. I'm trying to work on my brush lettering. I did that. Found a new bird in my yard, and so I did a little sketch of him, drawing some Jane Davenport eyes. This day I felt like drawing chickens because it's time to draw chickens. And so I gessoed the background this time so you can see the pretty garden pictures poking through a little bit, and then just did some watercoloring in there and layered on this card with some Tim Holtz fabric. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm obsessed with chickens, so I enjoyed that. And these pictures I copied from somebody on, I think it might have been on Pinterest, but I was just playing with new watercolors and having fun with that. And on this page, I was doing some borders from Diane Reevely. She's got a lot of new stamps out, which I love, but I don't have them yet, and a lot of times I like the borders to be smaller, so I was just kind of messing around and sketching them out for future reference. And oh, on this page, this makes me laugh. This is from inside Flow magazine, and it's a pop-up. Oh, I love pop-ups, and there it is. A little typewriter that pops right up, which I thought was so cute, and I'm trying to use up the magazine, and I didn't want to throw that away, so I stuck it in there, and that sort of thing would explain why my book is getting to be exploding fat size. But that doesn't bother me. I like it, and I do have the hug snug ties, so I can just cinch it closed, and all's well with the world. So these are just a few more of the pages that I haven't messed with yet in the art journaling section. And then we're back to the second signature that I actually made and bound in. And it's February. I can't believe it was February that fast. This is Jane Davenport scrapbook paper. And on the back of that, I just did some watercolors, decoupaged in a piece from a Daphne's diary as a border. Did some watercoloring, used some food packaging and a photo from the internet that I printed out, and did a little collage of my new favorite pea shoots. If you haven't tried them, oh my gosh, they're the best. Pea shoots are so good. The next page is children's writing paper that's coffee dyed, and I drew a very bad sketch of what we call Gluppy's nest, and so the dog and I curled up in there and read a book for quite some time that day, which is pretty unusual for me, but I did it. It was fun, and the dog was really happy. Inside the pocket, I have some information from the next day's activities, and I just stapled some trim on it, and that actually came from my friend Allie Commons. Hi, Allie. Thank you for my package at Christmas. I love this trim. The next page is for February 3rd, which was a Saturday. And on that day, this was the back of that pocket, and I had stitched in this tag when I was making the book. So I just journaled straight on the page. I had been working on getting mail out for Etsy orders, and so I took a photo of those. And there's a tag in the pocket that I made from the beginning when I first made the journal, and it's a list I'm making of things that I've seen on YouTube or Pinterest or something that I want to try, because there's so many cool ideas out there for paper crafting and fabric crafting and all kinds of crafting. So I've just been keeping a list in there for when I have time or the inclination to do it. This was the 4th of February. It was a Sunday, pretty quiet day. I had found this picture of a reindeer somewhere in a magazine that I was getting rid of. I've been trying to purge some of those huge stacks of magazines. So I cut them out and did some decorating and put on a weird eye because that's just fun. And it was the Super Bowl, and Mark was excited, and just used some stickers on that, did some journaling, and I had someone that I really, really admire on YouTube comment on one of my journal flip-throughs and subscribe to my channel, and I was so excited, so I put that in there, and I just wanted to cover up the message that I sent her. But it's Never Hopeless by Elizabeth, and I'm sure you know of her because she's terrific, but I will link it down below. Yep, I haven't done that yet in this video, I don't think. Link it down below. Yeah, yay. And you should go check her out because her work is beautiful. This page is so cool. It's a newspaper, a local newspaper. Well, not terribly local, but about 50 miles away. And I have to stick my head way down here to see it. I'm stealing the book. Hold on, I'll be right back. I know it's in here. 1906 was the publication date, I think, from this newspaper. And I bought it at a flea market, and it's only one section of the newspaper, but it's in great shape and very yellowed, as you can see, and aged. But I just sewed it up and bound it right into the book and made a pocket. So this is a list of movies that we want to watch, and I just did the journaling straight on the page. On this page, my daughter's getting ready to go to art school, and she's working on her portfolio, and she was working on this sketch, which ultimately I think she trashed. She started a new one, and we were getting ready for a wicked winter storm, so I have the severe weather warning in here. And this paper is just rice paper, again, bound into the book. It was kind of flimsy, so on the back page, the SpaceX launch was that day. The Falcon was launched. So I put that in there, put a little story, put in some photos. This one ended up upside down, which is a shame because it's such a cute photo. And the nice old man adores things about space, so he loved that day, and he had a really fun time watching the blast off. So that was that day, and it also reinforced this rice paper page, but it makes a fun crinkly sound. I like that. This is a page from a sewing book, a sewing manual that was bound into the journal, and I just wrote directly over that. Probably on camera you can't see it very well, but I can see it. I mean, I can read it quite easily. And I just wrote it with gel pens because I have a newfound love for my gel pens. I always love them, but I have rediscovered them, I guess. And this was the day that I saw the American bluebirds in my yard, which I had never seen before. So I just put a note in there to try another sketch on that page. The back side is the same, obviously the same pattern page. I've got a little muslin that's attached on there. And on this page, I just used gel pens for the date and the weather and used some labels to do journaling. It was, you know, nothing much going on, so I just stuck those on so you could still see the cool page underneath. And I don't know if I just said this, but this is a dressmaker pattern that I ruched and sewed right on the edge. On this Saturday, I just used a journaling card, wrote about the day. My daughter was at a competition, and this is the tape they use to keep people out of areas. So I had found a piece laying on the ground. Actually, her dad did. And I cut out a piece and made a pocket. And if she'll ever give me a picture of that day, I will stick it in there, but she didn't like how the pictures came out. And I did the journaling on there. And, and these are some photos of my aunt and my mom. My aunt had passed away earlier last week, and her celebration of life was that day. So I had printed out some pictures and done some journaling for that day. So that was kind of sad, but I guess that's part of life, huh? And the journaling's just on this little ledger page. And this day was February 11th. It was a Sunday, and the original page was scrapbook paper, and I had attached this piece of journaling paper to it. I think this is actually scrapbook paper as well that looks like ledger page, and that just is hinged in, folds in. And for Sunday, I worked on some more mail, getting it out, and so I put that picture in there with some watercolor behind it. Just used some washi tape and did my journaling straight on the page. This was Monday the 12th, and I did some, this is Tim Holtz stain on the background. Victoria and I went and did a bunch of errands and went around, so I put in our receipts and just talked about the day. Panera has a new menu, so I stuck that in there in its entirety, and made it into a pocket on the side, and just stuck pictures from our adventures in there, glued them together and put a little tab on them. And so that's pretty much it for that week. So, or those 2 weeks. I'll go ahead and close it down there, and thank you so much for watching. Again, there are links down below for where I made this book, and on my for my YouTube channel, other videos. And I will thank you very much for watching, and hope you have a great night. Thanks.